All right, so today's a rest day. I just finished day 43 yesterday, and as I mentioned on that ride, I have had several people ask for me to give a kind of an overview of the equipment that I use and how it's set up. So I'll go ahead and do that. Let me flip this around. So I'll start right here. So I've got everything on the bed right now that goes in the combination of that pannier, the other pannier on the bike, and the aero pack. And I'll talk about those in a second. But what fits in the center pack, this Aerofin thing here and this are most of the stuff that's for fixing the bike. So I've got my pump, which is I don't know, this has actually been a really good pump. Um, Mini charger, I think it's called. I've liked it a lot. Um, and then I've got on my repair kit, little, I saw, I watched some videos and somebody really liked this and it has been good. Uh, uh, where's that from? NTX. So a nice little kit. I have another thing that I don't know where I put it, but maybe it's in the bag itself. Yeah, here we go. I usually have this one too, just kind of sitting in the front. It's easy to get to for quick adjustments, but this is for more fine-tuned stuff. And then this right here, I put in the center bag, and it has stuff that I grab more often. Like I'm allergic to bees, so I have a EpiPen thing, and then I've got gum and just other little assortments of things that I can use to fix stuff quickly. And then I've got more bike kit repair stuff. This goes usually in one of the panniers, but this is if you have a major problem with your tire, you can fix like a rip in or something temporarily. I've got an extra derailleur hanger because apparently those break, a battery for the electronic shifter, and then in case I have a total failure with my tubeless tires, I do have a tube to be able to put in there. I've got a couple battery chargers, one I carry inside the middle bag there on the frame of the bike so that if I need to charge something while I'm riding, I can do that. This is the DJI mic that I'm using, and that's the charger for it. I have more cables than you would need or that I've ever used, but I'm kind of a tech nerd, so I have carried all of that kind of stuff all the way across the country. Just a kind of a little first aid kit with just a few things, Benadryl, um, Tums, a tick removal kit, stuff like that. This is soap. This is called Dettol soap. It's antimicrobial soap, is how you say that. And I use, whenever I can shower, I use that. And then you can also use it to wash your clothes with. So I wash my chamois with that when I rinse it out. I've gone through 3 bars. I'm on my final bar. I'm probably going to run out. Then I have, this is the chamois cream that I've used. You buy it online. I don't know if it's DZ Nuts or D's Nuts, however you say it, but that's been good. This is my bathroom bag, I guess is a nice way to call it. Um, what I have in here is isopropyl wipes and tea tree oil. And so kind of the routine that I go through as soon as I'm done riding is I use the alcohol wipes to clean off. Then I put just a little dab of this on my fingertip and rub in the tea tree oil, and then I'll use bag balm to put on top of that. So I struggled with saddle sores. I didn't do what you should do and ended up having them before I left on the trip. A couple pretty bad ones. And so I started the ride with some saddle sores, and then I struggled with different ones. I probably went through 5 saddle sores all the way through Montana. And I think I got better with using this and using chamois cream. And before I started the ride, I got some better chamois bibs than I had been using when I was training. And I think the combination of all that helped. And then I even switched my seats I went back to the original seat that was on the bike in Montana. And I think a combination of all those things has helped clear it up, knock on wood. But I'm still very careful about it because riding with saddle sores was no fun. And as I mentioned, I did that for multiple weeks. I got my Mac, and one person told me that they haven't seen anybody else carry a laptop, but I'm sure that they do. But I couldn't be without my laptop. I have to stay connected a little bit for work, but primarily for doing videos. Um, I got kind of a shower kit stuff with just deodorant, toothpaste, toothbrush, shaving cream. This is a weird thing, but for other people who have struggled with back pain, I've had back pain since I was 25, and I've done pretty much everything to be able to get over it. I learned for me that a lot of the problems I have was in my psoas muscle. So that's that muscle right kind of behind your hip bone. And it makes it so it feels like you have lower back pain. And at night, it really flares up or when sitting in a chair. And this kind of hooks in there and helps release that psoas muscle. And that's been a game changer for me. I have my towel, a couple towels. This is the one that you see me wear around my neck. Just a bag to carry some stuff in. Just an assortment of stuff that I kind of replenish every day for to be able to, hydrate with. Somebody told me about these, and I started using them after I bonked that day in Iowa when it was really hot and humid, and I've really liked those. It has a lot of just sodium in it, and I'll keep going here. So I had toe surgery in November, and it has a long recovery for it, and I couldn't wear my clipless pedals anymore, at least for this ride, because I couldn't wear those shoes and have the pressure in the same part of my foot. So I just went with plain flat pedals and have used these, and it gives me the ability to kind of move my foot around on the pedal, and that's worked great. Then, as far as rain gear, I have rain pants, a nice waterproof rain jacket, and then just kind of a shell if it's just kind of windy or lightly raining. I really debated whether or not to use um, to bring the rain pants. I'm so glad I did. I wouldn't have made it through that really cold, all day raining day, and I think it was even partially the second day had I not had these rain pants. And then I had 2 straight days in Minnesota where I rode in the rain, and it would have been so miserable. In fact, I don't think I could have made it through the day in Montana. It was too cold. And then this works great if it's lightly raining. It doesn't stop you from getting wet, but it kind of helps keep you warm. I also debated whether or not to bring the Smartwool kind of liner, or whatever you call it, a long sleeve shirt, if you will. Um, and it also was great. I didn't wear that the first half of the day when I was riding through that cold rainstorm in Montana, and I ended up being very cold, and I put that on. And even though I still get wet, I don't know if it's because of sweat or the, the Gore-Tex leaks eventually, but it didn't matter with that. That helped a lot. And then I have two of the same bib chamois, and then several shirts too, which I just bought in the last 2 days because I wore all those out. Just a long pair of pants, a couple Smartwool socks. Um, let's see, I have been wearing these and have loved them, my arm liners, but I'm really sad because I washed yesterday and I can't find what happened to one of them. I do have a backup pair that are yellow, so you'll probably have to see me wearing those ugly yellow ones. What did I miss over there? I think I got everything. And then as far as the kind of sleeping camping stuff, I have a Big Agnes, a sleeping pad. It's a Wrap, what is that? Rapid SL. I think that's what that says. I should pull my glasses down and double check. Yeah, Rapid SL. I really like this. This is I used a sleeping bag in some of my trial runs, and I don't like sleeping in a mummy bag, but this is a quilt, and it's a REI brand. It was a highly rated one, and I love that. And then I have the MSR Hubba Hubba um, tent, and those are the poles for it. Let's see, did I miss anything? So I think that's all the gear that I have. So everything that's on the bed, including the clothes that I'm wearing, with my Crocs for kind of off day, fits in this pannier that's over here, the aero pack in the middle, and that pannier. So I squeeze all that in there. And now the way that this system's set up, well, first I'll talk about the bike. So this is a Ventum. Some people sometimes think that I'm saying Aventa. I don't know what it is, but there's an e-bike that kind of sounds like this. But this is Ventum, Ventum, and it's a gravel bike, and it's a carbon fiber frame. And then I have has zip wheels on it, Shimano components, and it's been a really good bike. I didn't buy it to be able to do the tour. I bought it just to have a bike to ride. But then I decided I wanted to do it, so I figured out how to make this work, and it's worked well, and generally. It would be nice to have a pannier, be able to put panniers on the front. I think I could have distributed the weight a little bit more. Um, but the way that it works is kind of an, well, sorry, I'll keep talking about the bike for a second. So that's the bike. It's 1 by 12 in the chain ring and then the cassette. And as I don't know if I mentioned this, I probably didn't, but I had help from Peak State Fit, which is a bike shop in Salt Lake City. And Chris working there has helped me out a ton. He helped fit the bike to me, helped with suggestions about how to set things up. It was just instrumental into making all this work. I also put on these handlebars because the other ones were a little bit too aggressive and too down, and I wanted to be sitting a little bit more upright when I rode it. So I think these are Redshift handlebars, and they're just kind of went with a standard frame. This is the seat that came with it. This seat has worked a lot better than the Shimano one that I put on, but I still would like to get a better seat. This is as hard as can be, and it's probably a little bit narrow for me, but I do like the way that it's more flared in there than the seat that I was riding on before. Let's see, what else can I tell you about the bike? The way that this rack system works is pretty ingenious. It's done by Tailfin, and everything I have on here is Tailfin. But what you do is you have to get a special through axle for whatever bike you're riding, and it took us a bit to figure this out. In fact, Chris at Peak State Fit was the one who eventually got it dialed into the right one, and I think that I rode with the incorrect one on a couple fully packed trips before I came out on this ride, and that may have been what compromised my free hub, which caused later in the ride my free hub broke, and so I had a kind of a catastrophic failure in close to Dubuque, Iowa. But the way that this works is you get the right through axle from them, and with that you're able to attach this. So if I pull this pin, that'll come off, and if you take this off, do it to the other side, you can remove this aero pack. So it has its own integrated frame, and it has a good sized bag on the back here. I don't have that popped all the way up, but that's where I fit all of my clothes in my tent. And then what happens is, let me grab this. Here's one of the panniers. So you see how high up that goes, and it'll hold a lot. But it has this little hook system in the back. And let me see if I can get this set up. So the way that this hook system works is right here. There are, let's see if we can move that in the light. There's this little, on the frame, there's this little knobs that you can put this hook on, and then this fits right back of there, and it puts this thing on as solid as can be. So you just put that over there. Let's see, I'm trying to do multiple things at one time here. You line that up like that. That's behind there, and there's a little lever that you pull to lock that in place. And then that bag's on there. You'd think it's one piece. It's really solid, and you can start stuffing things inside of there. So hopefully you're able to see that. Yep. So now that's there. This is the little latch that I was talking about. I'll take that off. So at the end of the day, when you want to take that off, it goes just like that. So I talked about the tail fin, the gears, the bike. Oh, one other thing that I really debated doing this. I think this is something I saw. It may have been that Matt Ryder guy. He had one of these kind of metal bottles that's insulated. And I thought, oh, this just weighs a little bit. I'm not sure I want to get one of these. I'm so glad I did. On those hot days, I can put a little bit of ice in there along with I used to use Gatorade, now I use that other, this kind of stuff right here, and put that in there, and you have a really cold drink that you're able to drink. And then I carry 2 bottles here, and when it was really hot days, I carried a fourth bottle up here in this bag. And I don't think that I forgot anything. So hopefully that gives a good idea about how I have everything set up on my bike. And yeah, there you go.